Everyone assumes Amish driveways twist and turn for some old-time charm or simple design. You might even think it's just part of their look. But the surprising truth is, the shape of these driveways has almost nothing to do with looks at all. It's tied to a deep, practical reason, a part of their daily life that most people completely overlook. This one detail changes everything you thought you knew about their homes. So if it's not for looks, what is the real reason for those winding driveways? It's actually one of those things that, once you understand it, you can't believe you didn't see it before. And it's a perfect example of how a lot of what we assume about the Amish is just plain wrong. We tend to have this picture of them in our heads, stuck in the past, doing everything the hard way just for the sake of tradition. But the truth is, their world is full of really clever, practical solutions. The way they build, the tools they use, and even the way they get around is way more complex than it looks from the outside. That simple curve in their driveway is the key. It's not a decoration. It's a brilliant fix for a very specific problem they deal with every single day. And understanding it shows you a side of their life that most of us completely miss. So, let's break it down. When we see that winding driveway, our first thought is usually about looks. We think, oh, that's so charming, or what a quaint, old-fashioned design. It fits perfectly with the storybook picture many of us have of the Amish. We tend to see them as people who choose the harder, older way of doing things just for the sake of tradition. It's a romantic idea that every choice they make is to preserve a certain kind of simple beauty. We imagine their lives are like a carefully curated photograph, where every detail is about maintaining a classic, rustic feel. But that's where we get it wrong. Their world isn't a museum exhibit. It's a real, working community that has to deal with the same practical problems as everyone else, and some very unique ones, too. Take a look at the public roads in Amish country. In many places, you can see a distinct groove worn right into the pavement. That groove wasn't designed. It was carved out over years and years by the steel wheels of thousands of horse-drawn buggies. This isn't a charming feature. It's a problem. Those grooves collect water, which means in the winter, they turn into long, dangerous strips of ice. The constant freeze and thaw cycle in those grooves also tears the road apart, causing it to crack and crumble way faster than a normal road. This is a perfect example of how the Amish have to think. Their choices aren't driven by how things look, but by how things work and how they last under the specific pressures of their lifestyle. The buggy on the road isn't just a symbol of tradition. It's a heavy piece of equipment that has a real, physical impact on the world around it. And that brings us right back to the driveway. If their most common form of transportation can literally reshape a public road, you can bet they've put a lot of practical thought into the path that leads right to their front door. They aren't adding a curve to make it look nice for passing cars. They're adding it to solve a very real, very powerful problem they face every single day. A problem that starts not with the buggy, but with the animal pulling it. To understand that driveway, you first have to forget everything you know about driving a car. When you turn the steering wheel in your car, a bunch of complex mechanics kick in. The front wheels pivot, and the car turns smoothly around its own center. It's a self-contained system. A horse and buggy is the complete opposite. It's not one solid object. It's two very distinct parts, a living animal and a cart it's pulling. The horse is both the engine and the steering wheel. And a horse can't pivot. It can't make a sharp 90-degree turn on the spot. Think about it. To turn, the horse has to physically walk in an arc. Its whole body has to move through that turn. The buggy then gets pulled along that same path. Because of this, the turning circle of a horse and buggy is huge. Way bigger than a car's. Now, imagine a standard, modern driveway. It's a straight shot from the road, ending in a tight turn into a garage. For a car, that's no problem. But for a horse, that sharp turn would be a nightmare. The horse would have to slow way down, almost to a stop, and awkwardly shuffle sideways to drag the buggy around the corner. It's clumsy, it's inefficient, and it puts a lot of stress on the animal and the equipment. You risk the buggy wheels scraping against a fence or the side of a building. So the Amish engineered a solution. That long, gentle curve isn't a decoration. It is the turn. Instead of creating a sharp, difficult maneuver at the end of the driveway, they build the turn into the driveway itself. That winding path is designed to perfectly match the natural, wide arc a horse needs to make a comfortable turn. It allows the driver to maintain a steady, easy pace right from the main road all the way up to the barn or the house, without any awkward stops or sharp angles. It's the horse and buggy equivalent of a highway off-ramp. It's not there to look pretty. It's a piece of practical engineering that solves a fundamental problem of their transportation. It's safer for the animal, it's easier on the driver, and it makes the whole process of coming and going incredibly efficient. What looks quaint to us is actually a masterclass in understanding the real-world physics of your vehicle. And this way of thinking, where function is king, goes way beyond just driveways. It's the blueprint for the entire Amish world. Almost every decision, from the clothes they wear to the houses they build, is based on one simple question. Does it serve a practical purpose for the community? It's not about what an individual wants. It's about what's best for the group. You can see this in their clothing. The whole idea is plainness. The goal isn't to draw attention to yourself with bright colors or fancy designs. In fact, on their more formal clothes, they'll often use simple hooks and eyes instead of buttons or zippers, which are seen as too decorative. It's simple, it's durable, and it keeps the focus on the community, not the person. The same idea applies to the things they make. Amish furniture is famous for a reason. It's not flashy, but it's built to last for generations. We're talking 100% solid wood, no particle board or laminate. Every piece is crafted to be durable and useful above all else. And since their beliefs don't allow for using electricity from the public grid, they've engineered another practical solution. Many of their workshops use heavy-duty power tools that run on hydraulic or pneumatic systems, all powered by a diesel generator. It's a clever way to stay true to their values while still doing high-quality, functional work. This focus on the practical even shapes their education. Amish children typically stop formal schooling after the 8th grade. To outsiders, that might seem strange, but in their view, they've already learned what they need for the Amish way of life. After that, their education becomes vocational, learning the hands-on skills of farming, carpentry, and homemaking that their community actually depends on. You can even see the physical results of this lifestyle carved into the land itself. In areas with large Amish populations, the roads often have visible grooves worn into the pavement from the constant traffic of steel-rimmed buggy wheels. It's a literal mark left by their commitment to a specific, functional form of transportation. Maybe the best example is how they care for their elders. Instead of retirement homes, they often build a small, attached apartment or a separate little house right on the family property. It's called a Großdaddy house. This keeps grandparents close to the family, where they can help out and be cared for. It's an incredibly practical solution, born out of a deep sense of community responsibility. So when you see that winding driveway, you're not just looking at a path to a house. You're seeing a single piece of a much larger puzzle, a whole world built not on how things look, but on how they work. It really all comes down to one thing. Those twisting driveways aren't about looks or old-time charm. They're a practical solution, designed specifically for their horse-drawn buggies. This simple truth actually opens up a window into their whole way of life.